I'm Mickey Martinson, and this is my garage, now brilliantly lit by these LED fixtures. A far cry from where we began. In the last episode in this series, I decluttered the garage and painted the end closest to the house. Here I am finishing the cleanup in the late afternoon, racing against the setting sun and making the most of the one bare bulb lit up in the middle of the ceiling. That's it. That's all the artificial light I've had in here for years, and it shows in some of my earlier videos. I'll use the foam core architectural model I made in the last installment to show where the lights are going. There's one ceiling box in the middle currently supporting that one light bulb. I have a set of 4 LED light fixtures from Amazon. I'll arrange them in an H pattern and connect to them by a conduit running on the surface of the ceiling. These are the LED fixtures I'm installing, but there's already a setback. I've had these lights sitting in their shipping box for years, and the plastic end caps are crumbling. Most of them are cracked in at least one place. I blame the packaging. Anyway, it's time for some more 3D printing. I'll duplicate this design and replace all 8 so they match while I'm at it. This will do. Back to the garage. This is the garage's electrical system as it stands now. There's a network of conduit here already. It's powered from a box on one side, goes up and over the ceiling, providing in the middle an outlet for the garage door opener. On the opposite side of the garage, it comes down the wall again and ends in another box with outlets. See? There it is. Here's another angle on the whole network. It emerges from the white painted box on the left close to the side door. There's an outdoor light wired to that box on the other side of the wall. I replaced it in my last video. All of this stuff is in the way of my lighting scheme, so I'll take it down, starting here at the end of the run. In a later episode, I'll add utility outlets to the wall again, following another route. This loose wire that loops around the conduit connects the garage door opener to one of its push buttons. I'll have to deal with that sloppy installation at some point also. For now, I'm pausing the demolition of the old electrical system since I need this outlet to keep the garage door working. I'll get started on the light installation before returning to this. By the way, it's already late afternoon and we are running out of sunlight, which is why this shot is so dark. But good news, that's what we're fixing in this very episode. I will attach this extension to the original box to provide a place to connect the conduits on the surface of the ceiling. Now, to figure out how this was wired in the first place. This wall switch is in the laundry room that adjoins the garage. The one on the right controls the ceiling light. This took a lot of back and forth to the ceiling box to figure out. Here's how it probably was when the house was new and the garage was still a carport. You turn the light on, current flows out on the black wire, returns on the white one. That's straightforward. Yeah, the switched hot should be red, but the light is also controlled by a three-way switch, which adds a lot of complexity that I've left out of this diagram to keep it understandable. Now suppose you turn the carport into a garage. You want a garage door opener and some utility outlets, and you install an outdoor light with its own switch. But how do you power all that without running a new circuit from the utility room? You can tap the ceiling light, but it's on a switch, and you definitely don't want the door opener to not work unless the light is on. So this is what they did. They carried switched hot over black as before, and used the white wire to carry unswitched hot, which got spliced with black inside the ceiling box to supply all the new loads. Okay, the colors are all wrong, but that's not the real problem, which is, how do you get current to return to the panel? There are no wires left except for the ground wire. So they connected that to neutral for the ceiling lights and all the new loads. Then at the switch box, they connected the neutral from the main panel to the box, so the circuit could be completed. That is certainly one way to do it. Needless to say, this is an egregious violation of electrical code, and equally needless to say, I'm going to tear it all out and make it right. First, I'll finish removing the old circuit, which is, of course, part of the problem, and now will have to be replaced in any case. Once again, my apologies for how dark this shot is, but I promise, very soon that will never be an issue again. Unfortunately, the original box that supports this extension box is not installed at right angles to the walls. So when I install my lights from this box, they will not be at right angles to the walls either, which will be very annoying. Now, I think I can fix it by drilling a few extra holes in the extension box. In a previous video, I used a laser pointer and a 3D printed adapter to figure out just how far from 90 degrees it was. "4 degrees. Let's fix it." That led to a lot of complaining. So here, just to confirm, is another way of doing it. Yes, you can see that there's a lot of play in this, but that's okay. There will be a lot of play in the actual installation as well. So as long as I'm somewhere close to the middle of that range, I'll be fine. I took a lot of criticism about that laser technique, and the critics are right. There are a lot of ways my 3D printed laser adapter could have gone wrong. Well, what do you know? 4 degrees. Okay, I did get a bit lucky with that, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good. "4 degrees ends up just kissing the edge of the existing holes, so I'm going to have to make slots instead. Now that I'm getting ready to install the final conduit network, this is a good time to get more patching and painting done. As I mentioned in the first video of this series, this isn't the kind of renovation where everything gets cleaned out so I can paint all at once. I have to go in sections. At the moment, I'm painting the area where the lights will go. This will do. I'm hanging the fixtures on 2 screws. In each case, the screw farthest from the center goes into a ceiling joist, and the other screw into an anchor, which is weak, sure, but these are very lightweight, and the closer end receives support from the conduit anyway. This is old conduit, but no matter, it's in great shape. It's going back up on the ceiling. Now to the other side. I'll take some measurements from here to duplicate this assembly. I'm modifying the T-fitting by drilling 2 holes so I can screw it onto the ceiling, using standoffs to add a little gap so that the conduits can go straight to the ports on the box extension. This is an unusual thing to do, but it looks clean and I can't think of any reason not to. I took down the T from the other side and did it there too. All right, time to wire it up. Now, putting splices inside a conduit body like this is not strictly allowed by code unless the body has its volume in cubic inches stamped on it somewhere, like this one does. And you're not using too many of those cubic inches for your wire nuts or whatever. In this case, there are only 3 wires spliced and everything fits comfortably. It saves on wire and unloads the central box a bit, so I think it's okay. It is late afternoon. The sunlight is failing, but no matter. We won't need it for long. Let's get this installed. Let's test it out. Yes! I can see. Now, I've been shooting these videos with auto exposure turned on, and it occurred to me that you couldn't see the difference between lights on and lights off in the last shot. So now I've fixed the exposure. Let's try that again. This is what it looks like. It's about 5 o'clock or so on a winter's day. Now, with the lights on. Yes, what a difference. But Aki, I hear you saying, what about these wires? Why is the box still open? Well, these wires run up and over the ceiling and come down this conduit here. They were originally used to power the exterior light on the other side of this wall and the network of outlets that we took down. This I'm going to power by drilling a hole through this concrete wall and bringing in a conduit from the other side, which is the laundry room that also contains the main electrical panel. That conduit will come over here, hook up with this, power this light and some new outlets, and we will retain this wire and use it in the opposite direction by bringing power over here, which is unswitched power, and installing a new outlet up here into which I can plug the garage door opener. But all of that is for the next episode, which will be better lit than this one was. As should be apparent, you can do quite a lot with 150 watts. See you soon.